Tonight, the collective steps into one of the funniest hidden truths in spiritual warfare. Some haters attack your light because deep down, they believe in it. Not openly, not honestly, not with dignity, because apparently dignity was out of stock that day. But they believe. They believe enough to watch. They believe enough to study. They believe enough to gossip. They believe enough to react. They believe enough to try interrupting what they claim isn't important. That is not disbelief, beloved, is scared faith with bad manners. This scroll reveals why certain people attack the collective when they sense growth, purpose, healing, confidence, and divine movement rising. Because envy often sees the crown before the person wearing it fully understands their own royalty. Tonight, the collective is learning that opposition is not always proof you are wrong. Sometimes opposition is proof your frequency reached a room where insecurity had been sitting comfortably in the dark, eating emotional snacks and minding everyone's business but its own. The hater may call you too much, too bold, too spiritual, too different, too confident, too loud, too quiet, too bright. But what they really mean is, your becoming is making my excuses uncomfortable. So tonight, the collective stops shrinking under criticism and starts reading the room with wisdom. Because sometimes the attack is not rejection. Sometimes the attack is accidental confirmation. They felt the prophecy before you finished believing it. Messy little angels of resistance. Tragic delivery. Useful receipt. The old wisdom keepers taught that every rising light casts a shadow. Not because the light is wrong, because illumination reveals what was hiding. When a soul begins to grow, heal, speak truth, build confidence, protect peace, and answer purpose, the energy around them changes. Old agreements break, old masks slip, old watchers become restless. This is why growth often attracts resistance. The soul's expansion disrupts whatever depended on its silence. The ancient mystics believed envy is distorted recognition. The hater does not always understand your gift, but something in them feels it. They sense movement. They sense possibility. They sense a future version of you forming before the world has named it. And instead of honoring that spark within themselves, they throw stones at yours. But stones thrown at a seed do not always destroy it. Sometimes they press it deeper into the soil. Sometimes resistance strengthens the roots. Sometimes the very thing meant to bury you becomes the pressure that prepares your bloom. This is cosmic irony at its finest. The universe really does enjoy using nonsense as fertilizer. Very dramatic gardener, that one. So tonight, collective, remember, do not mistake every attack for truth. Some attacks are fear, wearing a loud outfit. Some criticism is envy, trying to sound intelligent. Some rejection is simply a small room panicking because your spirit started needing sky. The awakened soul learns discernment. Receive correction when it comes with wisdom. Reject noise when it comes with poison. Honor truth. Ignore performance. Keep building. Because your light was never meant to convince the darkness to clap. It was meant to shine anyway. And when they watch, whisper, mock, copy, criticize, and still keep showing up, smile inwardly. Somebody believes in the mission. They just have terrible communication skills.
Channeled by your architect musician, 36110, 27 palms of eyes. The golden whisperer, C-star, Devalan, see all. Apply the news you can use, truth and accuracy. The real non-bedazzled jewels.
Humanity naturally made envy complicated when it could have just gotten a hobby. Scroll of the haters who secretly believe in you. When envy becomes accidental prophecy collective, let us speak plainly tonight. Some people do not attack you because they think you are nothing. They attack you because something in them knows you are becoming something. That is the part they will never admit. A hater does not waste all that time studying someone they truly believe is irrelevant. No, beloved, that is not hatred. That is unpaid research. That is emotional surveillance with no benefits package. That is somebody clocking into your destiny like they work there. And the funniest part? They will claim they do not like you. Yet somehow they know your moves, your tone, your posts, your growth, your face, your laugh, your scars, your shoes, your mistakes from 2014, and the way you breathed on a Tuesday during a full moon. Fascinating. For people who do not care, they have excellent attendance. The old wisdom keepers taught that envy is often distorted recognition. The hater sees something, a spark, a gift, a calling, a freedom, a glow. a confidence they have not given themselves permission to carry. So instead of healing, they start throwing rocks at the window. Because if they can convince you to doubt yourself, they do not have to confront the part of them that feels left behind. That is the trick. Haters are not always attacking your present. Sometimes they are attacking the future they can sense around you. They feel the shift before you fully step into it. They see the crown before it fits comfortably on your head. They smell the harvest before the field is finished blooming. And instead of saying, wow, maybe I should water my own garden, they show up with a bucket of salt and a suspicious attitude. Beloved collective, do not be fooled. Some attacks are confirmation. Not all, because some people are simply bored and spiritually underemployed. But many attacks reveal that your energy has entered a new room. People do not guard empty vaults. They do not envy dead seeds. They do not monitor cold ash. They react to life. They react to movement. They react to light. And if your light was not affecting something, they would not be so committed to dimming it. The hater sees the possibility in you and panics because your becoming exposes their excuses. Your healing exposes their bitterness. Your confidence exposes their insecurity. Your progress exposes their delay. Your peace exposes their chaos. And your joy really gets on their nerves. Joy is offensive to those who expected life to break you permanently. That is why some people become uncomfortable when you smile after what you survived. They were prepared for your collapse. They had snacks ready. They were sitting front row at the downfall theater, waiting for the dramatic ending. Then you walked back in healed, moisturized, spiritually upgraded, and somehow funnier. Now everybody confused. The ancestors in the balcony are clapping. The hater is filing a complaint. The universe is eating popcorn. Because nothing disturbs envy like a soul that refused to stay defeated. Collective, understand this. You do not need to answer every attack. Some attacks are invitations to leave your throne and argue in the mud. Do not accept every invitation from chaos. A dog can bark at a parade all day. The parade still moves. And some of you have been stopping the whole procession to explain yourself to barking energy. No, keep walking. The hater wants access to your attention because attention is energy. They want the reply, the reaction, the proof that they touched something. The moment you break focus, they feel powerful. But silence? Silence starves foolishness beautifully. Not all silence is weakness. Sometimes silence is a locked gate with incense burning behind it. Sometimes silence says, I saw you throw that rock. I simply refuse to build a conversation around it. That is mastery. The collective must learn the difference between correction and distraction. Some people bring truth, listen. Some people bring warning, discern. Some people bring wisdom, receive. But some people bring nothing except noise, wearing eyeliner and a trench coat. Bless them from a distance, with no forwarding address. Because your destiny requires focus. And haters love stealing focus. They want you defending yourself instead of building. Explaining yourself instead of creating, arguing instead of healing, proving instead of becoming. That is how they drain the gift, not by stopping your power directly, but by making you spend it on nonsense. Beloved, your power is not cheap. Stop spending royal energy on basement conversations. The old mystics taught that every rising soul must pass through the gate of opposition, not because opposition is special, because growth always reveals resistance. When the seed breaks ground, the dirt pushes back. When the bird leaves the nest, the wind pushes back. When the river meets stone, the stone pushes back. But the river does not argue with the rock. It flows around it. That is why the river wins. Not because it is loud, because it continues. And that is the lesson tonight. Continue. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them misunderstand. Let them call you strange, extra, dramatic, different, too much, too confident, too spiritual, too bright, too loud, too quiet, too whatever they invented before breakfast. Let them. Their discomfort is not your assignment. Your assignment is to become. The hater is often a confused prophet. They speak against you because they can feel something coming. They mock the gift because the gift is real. They watch the path because the path is moving. They challenge the light because the light exposes them. So do not always curse the opposition. Sometimes opposition confirms direction. If everything around you is trying to make you shrink, maybe something about you was born to expand. If they keep trying to bury you, Maybe they can sense you are seed, and seeds do not panic underground. They prepare. So tonight, collective, take the wisdom. Do not become bitter. Do not become obsessed with proving them wrong. That is still letting them drive. Become so rooted in purpose that their opinion becomes background noise. Become so aligned that their gossip cannot find a seat. Become so healed that their attacks arrive and leave without renting space in your nervous system. Because the greatest response to a hater is not revenge. It is evidence. Evidence that you kept going. Evidence that you rose. Evidence that you laughed again. Evidence that you became everything their envy feared you would. And here is the final slick truth. Some haters believe in you more than you believe in yourself. They are terrified of your potential before you even fully accept it. They are reacting to the version of you that destiny already knows. So perhaps tonight you should thank them quietly, not publicly. We are not feeding pigeons at the drama park, but inwardly. Thank them for confirming that something is moving. Thank them for showing you where your energy no longer belongs. Thank them for reminding you that small minds often panic around big becoming. Then, keep rising. Because the collective does not need to defeat every hater. The collective needs to outgrow the need to respond. Let the noise stay noisy. Let the mud stay muddy. Let the watchers keep watching. You keep building, you keep healing, you keep glowing, you keep becoming dangerous to doubt. Because if they did not sense the power, they would not be trying so hard to interrupt the prophecy. And beloved collective, nothing says I believe in you quite like a hater clocking in daily to monitor your ascension for free. Tragic career path. Useful confirmation. Keep rising. Keep shining. Keep laughing. Keep watering the living garden. The attack is not always proof you are wrong. Sometimes it is proof the light finally reached the corner where envy was hiding. Now let us pull out the receipts, collective. Because every hater claims they are just being honest, but somehow their honesty always arrives wearing jealousy cologne and shoes too loud for the room. Receipt number 1. People do not obsess over what they truly believe is powerless. They ignore powerless things. They scroll past powerless things. They do not gather in corners, whispering, watching, studying, copying, mocking, tracking, and suddenly becoming experts in your destiny like they got hired by your spirit team. No, beloved. That is not disbelief. That is recognition with a bad attitude. Receipt number 2. Envy often attacks what it secretly admires. That is the old shadow teaching. The part of a person they have not healed will often resent the part of you that is free. Your confidence bothers their insecurity. Your peace bothers their chaos. Your growth bothers their excuses. Your light bothers the little unhealed goblin inside them, still arguing with childhood, rejection, fear, and somebody who told them they were not enough in 2007. And instead of healing that wound, they look at you and say, who do they think they are? Collective, that question is hilarious. Because the real question is, why does who they are bother you so deeply? Receipt number 3. In ancient esoteric traditions, the evil eye was not always about someone throwing dark magic in a cape under the moon, although humanity does love theatrics. It was also about envy, the gaze that resents blessing, the eye that cannot celebrate another person's rise, the spirit that looks at someone else's harvest and forgets to water its own field. That is why old grandmothers across cultures told people not to announce everything too early, not because joy should hide forever, because unfinished blessings attract hungry eyes. And some people do not come to clap, they come to count your fruit. Receipt number 4. Haters often appear when the energy shifts. When you are down, they are comfortable. When you are confused, they are calm. When you are struggling, they suddenly become peaceful little spectators with snacks. But the moment you start healing, the moment you start building, the moment you stop begging for crumbs and begin acting like destiny knows your name, now they got concerns. Now they got opinions. Now they want to humble you. Beloved, some people only call it arrogance when you stop performing low self-esteem for their comfort. That is not wisdom. That is emotional taxation without representation. The deeper mystery is this. The hater is often an accidental prophet. They feel the crown before you sit fully in it. They sense the shift before the public sees it. They hear the footsteps of your future before you even finish tying your shoes. That is why they attack early. They are not fighting who you are today. They are fighting who they fear you are becoming. That is slick little spiritual math right there. A hater sees the seed and panics about the forest. They see the spark and start complaining about the fire. They see one healed decision and suddenly act like you stole their inheritance from the spirit realm. No, beloved. You just started choosing yourself. Apparently, that was a national emergency. But here is the wisdom. Do not let their attack become your altar. Do not worship the wound they tried to create. Do not spend your sacred energy proving your worth to someone committed to misunderstanding it. Some people are not confused. They are invested in not understanding. And you cannot explain sunlight to someone who has made a career out of loving the basement. Let them stay down there with their folding chair and emotional mildew. You keep rising. Now, quick side message for the collective, because somebody needs to hear this and the ancestors keep tapping the microphone. Do not become so focused on proving haters wrong that you forget to live beautifully. That is the trap. The hater wants to become the center of your story. They want your healing to revolve around their doubt. They want your success to become a revenge project. No, your life is not a courtroom drama starring people who did not even pay admission. Rise because you love yourself. Build because your gift deserves air. Heal because your nervous system deserves peace. Laugh because joy is medicine, and also because some people are genuinely ridiculous. The highest revenge is not revenge, it is freedom. Freedom so deep, their opinion cannot reach you. Freedom so peaceful, their gossip gets tired walking to your address. Freedom so rooted that even when they throw dirt, your spirit says, "Thank you. I needed fertilizer." Collective, be compassionate, even toward the hater. Not foolish, not available, not sitting in their kitchen explaining your destiny over lukewarm tea, but compassionate enough to understand this. A person attacking your light is often fighting darkness inside themselves. That does not mean you hand them your peace. It means you stop letting their pain become your personality. Bless them from a distance, a generous distance, a distance with locked gates, good lighting, and no emotional Wi-Fi password. Because the mission is bigger than their mood. The calling is bigger than their comments. The prophecy is bigger than their projection. And the collective is not here to shrink every time insecurity starts barking from the sidewalk. Let them bark. The caravan is moving. The light is rising. And honestly, if they keep watching this hard, they might mess around and get inspired. Wouldn't that be awkward? The core lesson tonight is simple. Haters do not attack empty rooms. They attack movement. They attack light. They attack growth. They attack the version of you they can feel coming before you even fully believe in it. That is the truth. No fog machine, no glitter smoke, no spiritual PowerPoint with suspicious fonts. If someone truly thought you were nothing, they would not be watching like your life came with season passes. They would not know your business. They would not track your healing. They would not study your glow. They would not whisper your name with that much emotional seasoning. Beloved collective, that is not disbelief. That is secret faith wearing hater clothes. Some people attack you because your becoming exposes their sitting still. Your courage makes their excuses nervous. Your confidence irritates their insecurity. Your peace disturbs their chaos. Your rise reminds them they could have risen too, but chose commentary instead. Tragic little hobby. No dental plan. Here's the wisdom. Do not let someone else's insecurity become your assignment. You are not here to convince every confused critic that your light is real. The sun does not hold a town hall meeting with shadows. It shines. That is the lesson. Receive real correction when it comes with love. Receive wise feedback when it comes with truth. But do not drink poison just because someone served it in a confident voice. Some attacks are not wisdom, they are envy with vocabulary. So keep building, keep healing, keep laughing, keep becoming, because the greatest response to a hater is not arguing. It is evidence. Evidence that you kept going. Evidence that you did not shrink. Evidence that their doubt became background music while your destiny kept walking. And let's be honest, collective, if they keep checking on your growth this much, they might as well subscribe, bring snacks, and admit the prophecy got their attention. The light is working. That is why they noticed.
Universal currency receipt, architect musician 3611027. The graceful whisperer, Devalan Ahll.
To our beautiful collective, from our day ones to every new soul joining this journey, we love and appreciate you deeply. You've turned this space into so much more than a community, you've made it a family. Thank you, truly. Your presence, your energy, and even the smallest acts of kindness have the power to shift the compass for many in ways unseen but deeply felt. Here's to each of you, all new and the many more to come. We're just getting started and we're so grateful you're here with us. With love and infinite appreciation from the collective of Shaman Ahll.
Before this scroll closes, let us remember this truth. A hater is not always proof that you are doing something wrong. Sometimes a hater is proof that your light finally reached a corner where insecurity was trying to nap peacefully. They felt the glow, they heard the calling, they saw the rise. And instead of healing their own field, they grabbed a shovel and started throwing dirt at yours. Cute. Unwise. Very dusty behavior. But legacy is not built by stopping every time someone misunderstands your light. Legacy is built by continuing anyway. The ones who came before us did not survive storms, betrayal, mockery, exile, jealousy, and spiritual side-eye from the village, just so we could collapse because somebody with unresolved inner plumbing had an opinion. No, beloved. We keep moving, we keep building, we keep healing, we keep laughing, we keep becoming. Because the greatest legacy you can leave is not proving every hater wrong. It is becoming so rooted in purpose that their doubt cannot move you anymore. That is power. Not loud power. Not performative power. Quiet, ancient, I know who I am even when you don't power. The old wisdom keepers understood this. Envy can only chase what it notices. So if they are watching, whispering, mocking, copying, and monitoring the mission like unpaid interns of destiny, let them. The light must be doing something. But do not let their wound become your assignment. Do not turn your life into a courtroom where every insecure spirit gets to cross-examine your purpose. You are not here to spend your sacred breath explaining the sun to people committed to living in the basement. Compassion says, they may be hurting. Wisdom says, they still cannot sit close enough to poison my peace. That is the balance. Love them from a distance if needed. Pray for them if your spirit feels led. But do not hand them the steering wheel of your emotions. Some people are fighting battles inside themselves and using your shine as the excuse. That is sad, but it is not yours to carry. So close this scroll with your crown steady and your laughter alive. Let the haters talk. Let the watchers watch. Let the critics critique. Let the confused prophets accidentally confirm that your destiny makes noise in the unseen realm. And then keep rising. Because one day, the same people who doubted your light may tell others they always knew you had something special. Human behavior. A circus with memory loss. Smile anyway. Your legacy is not in their mouth. It is in your movement. It is in the hearts you helped, the truth you carried, the courage you kept, the joy you protected, the purpose you refused to abandon, and the way you kept shining even when envy tried to throw shade like it had a union job. Collective, remember, the attack is not always the ending. Sometimes it is the announcement. Something is rising, something is shifting, something is becoming. And if the hater believed you were nothing, they would not be this committed to watching the prophecy unfold. Keep going. The light is working.
Until next time, your Sea Star Curacy, channeled by 3611027, the beautiful whisperer. Our Sea Star Devalan Ahll. Apply the news you can use.